Welcome to More Action, the podcast for entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals. I'm your host, Shelly Bryan, and together we have candid conversations with industry leaders to uncover valuable wisdom and lessons learned. My hope is you use these lessons to intentionally take more action in business and life. I hope you share and enjoy. If you've been tuning in here for some time on the More Action podcast, you know that I love to show the correlation between various areas in life and how it can apply to your business and vice versa. And today's episode is one of those that I'm going to share some personal experience and some takeaways. One, I think it's going to surprise you what the experience was. If you're not following me on social media, you probably don't know this. So I definitely hope that you connect me there. So I want to share this one unique experience that actually spanned about 4 years, and then I want to share what I took away from it and the surprises that and how this one experience has affected my career, my business, my life. And, here on the show, it is all about paying it forward. That's how this show has grown. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you that has taken the time to share, because that's what this is all about. Sharing that previous experience and wisdom to help that person that's maybe right behind you or right there next to you. So let's go ahead and dive in. And I hope that you stay all the way to the end to get these 3 points that I'm going to share as far as my takeaways. And you may not know this, but yes, your girl here, Shelly, all 5'2" of her, I was a fitness competitor. And I did not go pro. Holy cow, no way. Definitely 5'2". Didn't help the judges look there. But it was one of those things. I want to kind of bring you back, and then I'm going to show you how I've applied it to my current career and business and life. But after having my second, I don't know about you, anyone listening in, whether you are a husband and see your wife kind of like looking at her body going, what the hell just happened? Same thing happened to me. I know all my fellow moms out there. This was after my second child, that I was like, what happened to my body? Like, this is crazy. I'm not into it. And we knew we were done having kids. And I was like, all right, I want to go and like figure this out. So I started in fitness. And when I first got into fitness, I've always been very active my entire life, but it was more to stay healthy and feel strong rather than like actually get a physical change. And so 100% honest, when I first got into fitness after having my daughter, it was all about the physical look. I wanted to feel confident again. I wanted to fit into my clothes. I wanted to just feel kind of like my old self when it came to my physical body. So it was definitely very much vanity that I got into this. And I started at like the weekend class, the Orange Theory. I started at those like quick classes, getting into it. And then I had a trainer at one of those that had done fitness competitions. And she was like, you push it, you do all the things. I can tell you're committed. Have you ever thought about doing this? And if you don't know already, that is something I would never even think about. I was like, nope, no way, no, thank you. But then I kind of sat with it for a little bit and I was like, well, why not? Let's try this challenge. And I started doing a little research and I saw some of the different competitors, and there's extremes in this, guys. I got to tell you, there is extremes. I did not go to the extremes, but definitely got to that point of leanness over 4 years. And it was one of those things that when I got into it, it was really hard. And it was really hard because things didn't always happen as fast as I wanted them to. And I remember one competition, I was sitting on stage, and we even have this picture. I'm going to see if I can find it, because then I could share it out on social, where I was, I believe, 35 or 36 at the time. And I was competing, literally standing next to a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old on stage in a bikini. So I was showing off my stretch marks like the proud mom I was, but it was crazy just standing next to just very different life differences, right? Experience differences. But what I started noticing was something that truly surprised me is that the more fit I got, the better I did in my career. And at that point, I was still working in corporate America. I was working in the pharmaceutical world, from sales to marketing, education, kind of all different stages in that. But I just noticed this shift. It was like this feeling, and I could definitely tie it to confidence, but it was this feeling that I was like, I can do all this hard stuff at the gym. I can eat a very restrictive diet. I can stay consistent. I can do all of these things. And it just like bled over, it spilled over into my career at the time. And at this very same time, when I ended kind of my fitness, let's call it very short 4-year amateur career of it, that's when I actually decided to leave. I had gained enough confidence that I left corporate America. So confidence was something that I definitely took away. But that's not one of my 3 main things that I'm going to share today, because confidence is an obvious thing. You feel better in your body, you feel stronger, you feel healthier. Yes, you are going to feel more confident. But I just was like, it was surprising to me that the harder I pushed in the gym, the harder I pushed in my career in a good way. I didn't feel drained. It wasn't anything horrible. It was like, I felt revived and I felt like I could do hard things again in my career because I had, already been working. Gosh, at that time, I'd already been working 12 years. I had already built up a huge career and worked really hard. And it was like this newfound energy that I was able to capture and harness and put towards my business. So I just wanted to share that because, I joined, and I don't know if any of you tuning in right now have ever had this, where you try something new and like the experience or the end effect is not what you were experiencing. And ultimately, that is what happened here. And so the 3 things I just want to share a little bit more on, obviously you're going to get confidence. And the 3 things I want to share a little bit more on, I know that, listen, I'm all about health. I'm not trying to push you to go get healthy, but like these are things that can go either way. So if you are kicking butt in your career, but maybe not taking care of your health as much or yourself, this is a way for you to show the correlation. Like, I kick butt over here in my business, I can go do it over in my health too. And I am living proof that when you start taking care of your body, this is why I'm such an advocate of it. If you've been tuning in, shoot me a DM if you haven't. I'm blind in one eye because I didn't take care of stress when I was younger. Like, there's a lot of different things. So health is always an important part of my career journey. And I know we all like to put them in separate silos, but they are not. So let's go ahead and dive into these 3 takeaways, and I'm going to give you kind of some examples to go with it. And if you aren't tuning in right now on your favorite podcast platform, I definitely invite you to jump over to YouTube. You can see me there. I've got lots of shorts, lots of different content that is going out on like Instagram or LinkedIn, but wherever you are, let's connect. Okay, number 1 is that one of the biggest takeaways that I had from doing these fitness competitions is that I had to let go. I had to let go, and I had to have the belief and the trust that the actions I took in the gym, in the kitchen, going to sleep at night, waking up early, all of these actions would produce my desired outcomes. How often are you in your business being like, listen, we put together this entire marketing strategy. We're using this spend and we're not getting this result immediately. Change, change, change. Like, you want to keep changing things. And there is a time for that. Don't get me wrong. You got to test and move on. That being said, there is a huge portion of when you are building a business, and this is something that I've done multiple times now, you have to know, and you have to believe, and you have to have the faith, the trust to let go and say, I know these actions that I continually take every single day will make it unreasonable for me not to be successful in my business. Because I'm telling you right now, things that you want to go at your time, it won't. Clients that you're hoping to get signed, that employee that you're hoping to hire that is going to build all this business doesn't work. You got to go to the second one or the third one. All of these things are the actions that will help you build that business, but you might not see the results right away. Let me tell you, when it comes to your health, and if you haven't, right, I just had 2 kids over a span of 2 years. I've been working my tail off. My health wasn't great. And when I started, and I commit, I mean, I know if you are like me, a high achiever in business, when you commit to something, you go all in. I committed to my health journey, and I was like, I was working out 2 hours a day. Again, this is extreme. I had a competition, right? This isn't normal, but I committed. That is normal for me. And I know it's probably normal for you, but maybe not in your health, or it is in your health, not in your business, right? It goes either way. And there was one point I remember I had been working so hard, so hard. I was committed. I don't cheat on meals. I don't do anything. I'm committed all in. And I remember one day I was just completely depleted, and I was like in my car, and I was just very upset. I was crying in my car alone outside the gym. I didn't want to go in because I wasn't seeing the results. It's not that I didn't enjoy it, right? Building a business, running a business, leading a team, these are all things that we enjoy, right? But sometimes it just gets hard. And when you're not seeing those little goals, those little results come to fruition, it gets really freaking hard. And so I can tell you right now that time I was sitting in the car and I was crying, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go in because I'm not seeing the results. What else can I do? I'm working out 2 times a day. I am sticking to my diet to a T, to my coach that I hired, who is highly successful. Like, I'm doing all the things and I'm not seeing the results. And I remember I was very fortunate because that coach was great, and I called him up, and it's not like me to cry for this kind of a situation, but I was upset. And he's like, listen, you got to let go. And so here's my pep talk to you, is that if you are doing the things in your health or your business right now and you're not seeing the results, you got to let go. You got to have the belief that the action that you are taking every single day, and if you are relentlessly taking the actions that you know will build the business, on those days that it's tough and you want to quit, you got to sit back and be like, let go, make another call, let go, make another post, let go, invest in yourself to be able to grow your mindset or your business to a different thing. So what I was doing was trusting. I got out, I went into the gym, and I had to trust that my intentional action daily that I was taking on my health would produce the desired result, right? Of my physical body changing. And this is the same thing when it comes to our business. As we're growing our construction company right now, everything, we know it's not always on our timeline. And this is, I could get into the whole nother conversation with that, but I know that the actions that we continue to take every single day would make it unreasonable for me and Chris to not see those results, and for us not to be able to provide for our teams, and for us to not be able to build out our community here in commercial construction. So when it gets tough, let go, have the belief, trust that your actions will produce those desired outcomes. All right, moving on to number 2 is that you have to question. Right. And so I love that these are the things, this isn't like what you were probably expecting. Confidence was one of them. That's why everyone expects, oh yeah, you get healthier, you feel better, you get more confidence. Yeah. But I tell you, number 1 was let go. Number 2 is that you have to actually question past beliefs or stories that you have been telling yourself. This is also known as self-worth. So do you guys remember how I started out this conversation? I said, yeah, that I'm 5'2" on a good day, wearing a bikini on stage. Most fitness competitors are long and lean, like beautiful dancers, and then they build muscle. I had to go the opposite way. I'm that short, stocky, sporty girl, and I had to thin out. And so I didn't have a lot of worth and belief that my body could make these changes. I've been telling myself for years, I can't run. I'm too short. I can't do all this cardio. I can't lift that heavy. I can't do these things. I really had to question all of these past beliefs and stories. And until I did that, my body did not transform. Because I'm telling you right now, if you are saying in your business, I'm not worthy of this success, or I don't want to hide, I want to hide it from my family, or I'm only worthy of X amount of dollars, that is all you're going to achieve. I wasn't worthy to stand out on a stage in a bikini at 35 plus years old. I wasn't worthy of it in my mind. And so I had to question that belief. I had to charge through. I had to ask questions. Why? Why do I feel this way? It's not always easy. And when it comes to your business, and especially when we start talking about money and growth, and if you've had failures and coming back from those failures and being worthy of trying again, being worthy of taking the risk to do it again. Until you do that, you will not be able to reach the levels that you desire. And here's another thing is that I'm going to push you a little bit right here, because if you haven't questioned even the level that you're saying, I talked about desired outcomes, right? If you're not questioning that level, is that even big enough? Could you do more? Why are you not setting a higher goal? Why are you not setting a higher revenue goal? These questions will help you uncover areas in your life regarding your health and or your business, your leadership, your ability to grow in an organization, your ability to add value. You have to believe it. You have to know that you are worthy of it. And if you find that little self of yours that is telling you stories that you are not worthy, you got to have a really tough conversation with that little person and really challenge them on it. Challenge yourself. And, for me, I mentioned this briefly earlier. And again, if you've been tuning in the show, I share all. So if you're new to the show, welcome in. But I invite you to go back and listen to previous episodes. I share a lot, and especially in business, I've really had to lean on this takeaway from when I was doing the fitness competitions, because I've had some pretty gnarly failures in business. Like I had a 7-figure failure. I had a failed partnership. I had just things that kept coming up that made me, for a moment, okay, because I'm pretty good. I can sense this now. This is a skill that you can definitely grow. But I definitely questioned my worthiness to be able to grow a business, to be able to build a business, to be able to create something where others can provide for their families. And I had to work through a lot of that. 2019, 2020 was not about COVID for me. It was all about coming back after a huge 7-figure failure. It was really rough. I was in a really dark place. I spent so much time here because I had been here before with my health, and I knew how my body would respond. And so I knew that if I took those intentional actions, question my past beliefs, and question my worth to the business, that's what I needed to do to move past, to be able to grow the business that we have right now. So that is number 2. Guys, these are deep. So I hope you're sticking with me here. I got my last one, and then we're going to close it up here, guys. But this last one, is, so closely tied to the name of this podcast, is that your confidence comes always from your actions, not your thoughts and your research. I'm going to say that again. Confidence comes from action, not your thoughts or your research, or you're waiting for things to be perfect, your perfectionism. So getting up on a stage, right? I could have thought about it. I could have trained for 4 years before I even got on it. There are people that do that. There are people that train for 1 year before even doing it. Professionals, they get hurt. They have to come back. what I made sure to do, and this is why, this podcast name, it just makes so much sense. It's so down to my core on so many levels, health, business, life, is that you have to take action. Ugly action, messy action, wrong action, right action. These are all labels. The bottom line is take action. And so the more action that you can continue to take, you will learn. You screw up, I have many times, you learn. What doesn't work, you move on. And so the relentless action that I kept taking in the gym, in the kitchen, reading, learning from others, researching, but then applying immediately what I researched, it was the action that grew my confidence to be able at 30 some years old to get on stage, stretch marks and all, people telling me I was crazy to do this, to be able to get up there and do it. It was the action. And so I don't know about you, but I know as high achievers, we can have this thing called perfectionism. We'll be really good about taking action, but there'll be certain things that we are looking for it to be perfect in order for us to show the world. Social media is only making this kind of like a bigger issue right now. And so I invite you. I took, and I've shared this on another episode, I have taken a lot of action and I have failed privately because I just didn't want to do it out in front. But you know what? I was gaining my confidence all the way. And now I am all about, I'll fail right in front of your face. Because you know what I'm doing? I'm taking more action while you're sitting over there worrying about it being perfect or doing more research before you actually jump in and do the business, before you actually go for that promotion in your career. And so I just got to tell you that everything comes from your action. And so, many years later, I stopped competing in 2017. But these are 3 takeaways. Like I could pull these right off anytime because I knew I could pull these right out of my head because I knew that me initially doing my fitness for vanity, as soon as I got a little bit in it, I was like, oh, there's so many more lessons that are coming from this. And that's why I stuck with it for 4 years. My body did incredible things. And it was definitely not always on my timeline, even when you have a competition date. But I knew that if I kept taking that relentless action, that it would get me to that end desired goal. And so these 3 takeaways, you can see, I use these now. You can see how I interchangeably talk about them with business and health or health and business. You can go either way. And so as I kind of close up here, I invite you, challenge yourself, look at areas where experiences in your life. And if you're looking at a business or if you're looking at growing into a career or a different career or doing something different, look for other areas in your life where you can lean on the skills and the behaviors that you have been able to pull from that as you go try something new. And so just to sum it up here, before I close out, make sure that first, before I share this, make sure that you love this podcast, throw it a review. It takes like 5 seconds for a little 5-star review. You could leave just a quick little note. I do call them out here on the show. And don't forget to share it on social media. Tag me. I cannot wait to be able to connect with you. But the 3 main takeaways, right, from me being on stage in a bikini that are helping me now in my business is that I had to learn how to let go. I had to trust. I had to believe that my actions would produce my desired outcomes. I had to question those past beliefs and those stories that I've been telling myself. I had to become and know that I am worthy of the success in my business. I am worthy of feeling amazing in my clothes and confident walking into a room and still feeling great in front of my husband. I had to take action even amongst the perfectionism because that's where my confidence would grow. And so thank you so much for tuning in. Keep coming back here. I'm dropping 1 episode a week right now. And actually, I just secured 3 amazing guests that are coming on. So you're going to want to stick with it. Make sure you hit subscribe over on YouTube or on your favorite podcast platform.